Hello YouTube, here we have a Leyland 262, and the problem was that injector 3 was leaking. So the injector sits down there and there's a sleeve that sits down all that. The sleeve is actually quite long. It is a little bit longer than that. I end up hitting a bit of it, but yeah, it's quite difficult to get out. So I took out the injector first, just to be sure that the sleeve actually was leaking, and you could see pitted rust all the way up the sides of it. So after cleaning it out with a wire brush, just the sides of it, and yeah. So next problem was how to get the sleeve out of the injector hole. So I made up a bit of a pullers. So this is just channel iron cut in half, and then a big heavy duty washer welded with a decent weld all the way around, and a decent bolt going down into it. Now unfortunately what I should have done, this is only scrap that I had lying around the place, so I should have gotten a bolt with thread all the way up and then put a nut up here. To get it in, I basically just ran the angle grinder very gently just around the outside of it there, just to give it a little bit of a point. So tap it in, then start screwing it in by hand. And I got down to the bottom, and as I kept screwing, eventually the injector started to come up. Basically because it had nowhere else to go, so it came up. What I should have done was gotten a longer bolt, or gotten this bolt with a thread all the way up and put a nut at the end, so I could just go down about there, because you don't know how deep it is going to go, and then just slowly twist your bolt or your nut around, so this would start to come up like that as you're screwing your nut down, and that would pull your sleeve up. Now, couldn't find a sleeve anywhere. I asked a few different shops and tried the internet and stuff, and eventually I found someone not in my area of Kilkenny that actually had one left over. So I assume this is the genuine packer which he bought it out of, because he just had it in his garage. So even though the tractor's Leyland, this is a JCB sleeve. So that's the parts number. It says 4 grams on it, so it must be the right box. Originally I thought, okay, it's copper, why not just get a bit of copper pipe? But if you do look carefully, it's actually expanded just here. Maybe if I put it more into light, you can just see a ring all the way around that height. So it's narrow here, and it's flared out at the top. So maybe if you're very, very careful, you might be able to get a copper pipe, flare it. Otherwise, that was €10. So that's the code and everything on it if you want to try JCB. So as you can see, obviously, like, the top of mine got a bit broken up just from like whacking it and trying to get it out. I didn't know originally how long it was. I thought maybe, it's maybe 1 or 2 centimeters long, and the idea was to crush it into itself and then just pull it out. I didn't realize it was a full sleeve all the way down, so I ended up having to kind of pull it back out and then use a puller to pull it out, which I should have done the first time. But that's it. So that's how I would have gotten it out properly. Just use a big long sleeve or big long pullers and got it out. But that's what it looks like. You can see the ridge just there where my thumb is. Yeah, and that's the serial code on it. So then to get it back in, so on this one I know that the ridge is on top, so I know, so it's flared out at the top and narrow at the bottom. So when I'm putting it back in, put it in like that, and just very gently just tap it with a hammer. I'm going to put a little bit of maybe Loctite or instant gasket maker just on the very top of it and on the very bottom of it, just so it get 100% seal, because after doing it now, and I've heard stories of, even though people get brand new ones of these and puts them in, they still leak. So I'm going to put a little bit of gasket maker on both ends just to get 100% seal, and maybe use a little bit of very fine sandpaper just to clean up any debris that's left over there and give the whole thing a very good clean, and maybe a little bit, get a hoover with a straw on it and just shove it down there and just suck out any little bit of debris and dirt that might have gone in when I was pulling it out, just so it doesn't go into the engine. But I said I'd make this video because I could not find part numbers anywhere. So that's the part number anyway for the sleeve. Thanks.